Hey YouTube, Kenyatta here. Okay, couple things. First thing that I want to say is I got my Patreon up, okay? Got my Patreon up and going. I got a few videos up already. I'm going to put some more up tonight by this evening. I will have the link in the description box below. Right now, my Patreon is just my readings, pendulum readings. I'll be doing some live pendulum readings. I'll be doing some live psychic readings, and I got my tarot readings up there. So I got like 4 tiers up there so far. So check it out. We'll see what else gets added, in time. Like I said, I was a hypnotherapist. So I'm thinking about, I used to do guided meditation on Facebook. I did a couple on my old YouTube channel. So I'm thinking about doing that. Like I know I'll go back and forth, because like I said, that's what it was going to be. Then I said, that's what it wasn't going to be. And then I decided that's what it's going to be. Because at first I was like, well, I want to offer them something more than that. But I really like doing my readings. People did find value in them. So that's what my Patreon is thus far, readings. Okay, so like I said, I may offer guided meditation / hypnotherapy. All right. If you are concerned and worried about the hypnotherapy, you can look it up. All right. I was certified. Okay. Went to school for it and everything. It's the guided meditation. It pretty much is the same thing. All right. But nevertheless, again, I may offer that. We'll see. But go ahead and take a look. The description. The link is in the description box below. All right. If you decide to join. All right. And I certainly hope that you do. And for the people who have subbed to my channel, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I get on here whenever. Okay. I feel like it. I just do random things. It's not just all one thing. I got my religious study series going, whatnot. I haven't done much on that lately, but I will get back to it. I'm going to move on from Buddhism. I don't want to go into it any further. I don't feel like digging into it any further. I just want to give, my goal with doing the religious studies is just give a basic understanding. Well, basic understanding what the basic, foundation is and the basic tenets of the religion. Each religion, / philosophy, they pretty much, they grow, they change. So you end up having different branches and different schools of thought. Okay. That some of them may veer. Oh, one thing I did want to say about Buddhism. I'll say it, when I do a religious studies video, because I did not talk about it. Now, it's something that I do want to touch on. So I'm going to do a last video on that when I do it. Okay. And then we're going to move on. Okay. I think what's next is maybe Taoism or Confucianism. Or Confucianism may come after Taoism. I'm not sure. Okay. But anyway, excuse me. That's what I want to talk about next. Okay. I have COVID. I made a short video saying I was coughing, and I said I made a cold maybe, but I don't have COVID. Look, guess what? That's exactly what it is. You got COVID, bitch. It's COVID. All right. And it's so funny to me, this thing, because, yes, I am vaccinated. All right. It's like, I had a scratchy throat on Sunday. Okay, I went to the park. I did a Euclid Creek reservation. I did a video on it on Saturday, but then I went to the park on Sunday. And I was going to do one on Sunday too, but I was like, I got this little scratchy throat. I don't want to just show the trees in the forest with me talking background. I had no specific talk about it anyway, but I had that scratchy throat that was bothering me. It did not dawn on me for 1 second that I was maybe getting a cold or something like that. Didn't. By the time it dawned on me that that's probably what was happening, it was Sunday night. Because usually when I feel, a little something in my throat, I knocks it out right away. Okay, I have my little remedies that I use, hot lemon tea, ginger. I got all kinds of stuff, and it emergency or really airborne. Them airborne tablets, honey. Listen, I've had feel that little scratch. Take that airborne tablet, boom, done and out the way. I used to do a hot lemon tea. Take squeeze a half of a lemon and some hot water with honey. Okay. And this was when I discovered it. This was way back in there. I was like in my 20s. I was at work, so they didn't have like Manuka honey or these specific kind of honeys, something that probably had a little bit of honey in it, more like some flavored, honey or whatever, because it would be in the cafeteria at my job, and I would put honey in it. And then I would, I would cut the lemon up after I squeezed the juice in it, and I would put it in there, with the peel. and it would knock it right out. It worked every time. So I do that sometimes. Again, that airborne tablet knocks it right out. No cold, no nothing. Okay. But again, by the time I realized what was going on, it was Sunday night. Okay, so it was a little too late. So I went and did my emergency thing. I forgot about the airborne tablets. And by the time I realized it was the next day, I only had one left. It was in the process of doing whatever it was going to do. I knew something was up. You know what I'm saying? The funny thing is like, I was feeling like, well, and I called off work, on Monday and Tuesday, and Wednesday, but I called off because it's like, you can't go to work now with a little cough, a little sneeze. Okay. It's like there's no such thing anymore as just a cold. You understand what I'm saying? Or allergies. Motherfuckers, I don't give a fuck. You're coughing, you're sneezing. I don't know what that is. You know what I'm saying? The world has changed. And I was like, does a cold exist anymore? Does the flu exist anymore? Or is it just COVID or just some virus? You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, I knew it was more than a cold. Okay. And it felt like the flu, but not as intense as the flu. Okay. Listen, I remember a few times I got the flu. That shit, like literally, all I could do was sleep all day. Okay. And a few times I did wake up, it was just a nauseous feeling, and I kind of felt like that with COVID. This is my 4th day of quarantine. All right. I still feel a little bit, off a little bit, but definitely not as bad as I did, so I called off work on Monday. I was like, I can't go in there with this. You used to have a cold back in there. You go to work with a cold, and just, you got a cold, just make sure you cover your mouth, when you cough and sneezing and hacking and all of that kind of stuff. And people just like, oh, they got a cold, moving on. Really couldn't go to work with the flu because that shit just knocked you the fuck out, so you can forget that, but like I said, you better not go around nobody nowadays with no coughing and hacking and all of that kind of thing. Allergies, I don't care what you say you have. I don't know what you have, Now where I work, okay, it was mandatory to get the vaccine. Now, me personally, I didn't have a problem with that. I have been probably one of the greatest conspiracy theorist people out there, okay? But as I've gotten older, my mind is just changed on some things. Now, I'm not saying that I think conspiracy theories are lies and that these things are made up, blah, 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 this, that, and other. No, I'm not saying that. But I do recognize and realize that, the world has had pandemics before, with people, what was it? I think me and my friend were talking last night, Spanish flu, where people were wearing masks, people were falling, dying left and right, all of these things. And as far as vaccines are concerned, honey, I have all my vaccinations, and I continue to get them because I think when you get older, like every 10 years, you're supposed to get a tetanus shot or something like that. And then, when you get old, you got to get the one for shingles or whatever. And my daughter has them all, and yeah, I was kind of questioning them, but I still did them. You know what I mean? So, like when the whole COVID thing, hit the scene, for me, I was like, okay, here we go again with a whole nother, that was a sickness, whatever. I thought it was going to be in the news for a hot second like it always is and be gone, Well, obviously that didn't happen, and then they shut down the world, what was it, last March or, whenever, was it last March or the year before last? I think the year before last. Yeah. By this point, I thought we was going to be definitely done, with this whole situation. I really didn't like the mandatory mask, but, I had to do what I had to do, so I was wearing it because at first, the 1 year I didn't work at all because I'm like, I'm not going into schools, with the children. And I know they weren't all there, but, I got to yell and scream through a mask. sit down. You know what I'm saying? As a sub, I wasn't going to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't like wearing the mask. It's like, I like to breathe shit. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't do it. This year I had no choice. You know what I'm saying? I had no choice. So I went to work with the mask on until they lifted it, here in Ohio. And some people still wear them, it's a choice, whatever. It wasn't mandatory, whatever. But, so I got used to it. Whatever. I got to do what I have to do. Now, so when they were talking about the vaccine initially, this is my experience, honey. I'm not making no definites about anything, okay? Think what you want, feel what you want, believe what you want. This is my experience, all right? I have no issues, no judgment, no anything, okay, on it. I didn't know, how should I handle this? You know what I'm saying? What should I do? Should I get up the vaccine? Should I make my daughter get it? This, that, and other. You know, I was prayerful about it. And what kept coming in my spirit was yes, yes, yes. I said my spirit. Okay, what kept coming up from me. Okay, I'm not talking about anyone else. I'm talking about me, me in my house. Okay, what we was going to do. Okay, and that's what I was prayerful about me. You know, what should I do? I didn't ask nobody what they thought. You know, well, I might have some trusted people. You know, but in the end, you know, I'm an adult. I'm gonna make the decision for myself. You know, and if I'm being prayerful about it, then and it's what I keep hearing over and over again. Yes, take it. Then I'm like, okay. But my thing was, I was gonna wait until it was to a point where I had no choice. Well, you know, where I work, you know, and some people may say, well, you could have got another job. Sure, I could have, definitely as a sub. Some of the schools were requiring it. Not all of the school districts were requiring it, but also it's like the pay was good here, you know. And since I had already felt within my spirit, you know, from my prayer that to go ahead and take it, you know, without a doubt. You understand what I'm saying? I had no issue with doing it. I mean, their thing was, if you don't take, you just have to give us a result. You know, you have to take tests and send a result in by a certain time on a certain day every week. You know, well, I don't need to do that. I'll go get, and I got the two shots. Interesting thing is, like, I think I did in December, so I think they were telling me about May was time for me to get the booster. Well, I hadn't gotten it yet, you know, and whatever with that, you know, damn sure can't get it now. I mean, like today. You understand what I'm saying? But anyway, you know, so it was just interesting, you know, to me to, I just laughed after I made that video, and I got the result yesterday. Because what happened was, I kept calling off. They were like, well, did you take a test? I was like, no. Listen, my body was aching. I had the muscle aches. Okay, my body, it was more like bone. It felt like my bones were aching. Okay. I don't think they say, like, you know, of course you can get it even if you're vaccinated, but it makes the symptoms not as severe. Okay. They were not, like I said, it was not to me as intense as a flu. I mean, like, even right now as I'm talking, I still feel slightly nauseous. You know what I'm saying? I felt nauseous, but I never felt like, you know, super nauseous or anything. It was always, I felt slightly nauseous, you know. I didn't get the headaches. I didn't have a problem with smelling. I could smell. Matter of fact, it almost seemed like my smell was heightened. Okay. Taste. I didn't have a problem with taste at all. I didn't have an appetite on Sunday when I first felt the symptoms. I ate anyway, but it was like, why am I even eating? I have absolutely no appetite here for this. Okay. But I was like, well, whatever this is coming on, you know, I probably need to eat anyway. So I did. So Monday, I didn't have much of an appetite. It wasn't as bad as the day before, but I ate. Okay. What was the next time? Tuesday, it was really on me. I mean, I slept a lot on Monday. Tuesday, I slept for real, most of the day. It was so bad. I, you know, text my daughter, I was like, see if your friend can bring you home. I just can't get up out the bed. You understand what I'm saying? I cannot get up out the bed. Do shit. Okay. So, but I didn't know that I had it. I didn't know I had COVID. Okay. So her friend brought her home. And I ate on Tuesday. They went and just got McDonald's. I was like, good enough, you know, and I barely ate that. Okay. But again, I could taste it. You know, I didn't have a problem with taste. I could taste it. I could smell. Like I said, it was almost like my smell was heightened. I've been smelling things like damn, you know, I'm outside, I smelled a specific herb, you know, that I've never smelled before, you know, because I was outside for a second in my driveway, okay, but at my car, and I was like, damn, you know, so it's like my smell was heightened. That happened quite a few times, okay. What else in my experience with this COVID? I did have to get something. Well, what happened was, because they kept asking me, at my job, I got tested too. Wednesday morning, I felt better. I got up thinking I could go to work, but I was like, I still got this cough. I better not go in there, because, people are very concerned, with this COVID and everything. So I called and I said, I think I better stay home. I still got this cough. Did you get tested? I said, well, yesterday I said I could hardly move, I said, so when I got off the phone, I said, well, let me get tested, so I go to the library, because the library used to give away free kits. Well, they're not giving away free kits anymore. So then I made an appointment for a CVS, but the result don't come in for like a day or two. Okay. So right around the corner from the CVS, there's like one of them urgent center care things or whatever. So I had a little fungus on my foot, that I've had there for years. Okay. Don't talk about me. It's been there for about 16 years. I didn't know it was a fungus, just my foot would itch, in a certain area. And I was like, girl, why are you still, and it doesn't itch all the time, but there's obviously something there. You know what I'm saying? So I go in and they were like, they asked me, was I there for a COVID test? Yeah, they asked me if I was there for a COVID test. And I was like, no, it came from my foot. I said, how long do you get the results? She said 20 minutes. I said, well, I just took one at CVS, but it's going to take them like 1 or 2 days. So by the time they, send me a result, I said, I'm feeling better. I said, I might as well take one here. Okay. Lady, the doctor come in, she looked at my foot. She said, girl, that basically, it ain't nothing but athlete's foot. You need to go get you some tenactin spray with powder. Okay. She said, I've had the same exact thing, blah, blah, blah. This was an older woman. Okay. European, she was cool. I liked her. Okay. She was older and I liked that. I liked them older doctors. Okay. They just so commonsensical about shit. Okay. And so she did the motherfucking COVID test. And she come back and she said, honey, it's positive. I was like, whoa, shit. You know what I'm saying? I was really upset because I was just like, I was like, my job. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to understand, as a sub, whatever the pay is, I get paid by the day, And I was like, my job, I get paid by that. And she was like, honey, they're not going to want you there. And that's what she kept saying to me. Honey, they're not going to want you there. I mean, I know they ain't going to want me there. You know what I'm saying? But still, damn it, So I was like, yeah, okay. So she told me, 5 days quarantine from the symptoms. And then she said, just, you could go see if somebody will get the tenactin spray for it. I was like, honey, I don't wait this long. I can wait a few more days to get the tenactin spray. But my lungs weren't at full capacity. So she gave me the little like asthma pump thing. Okay. And prednisone for that. And I didn't have a problem with breathing. Okay. It did not hit me until, it didn't hit me until yesterday. It didn't hit me until Wednesday, the breathing thing that I noticed. And see, because I smoke, and you all know that I smoke, okay, because you see my videos where I smoke. Now, I want to say I'm not a heavy smoker. I mean, I smoke like maybe 5 cigarettes a day. Okay, that's heavy enough, but I don't do packs, a day. Just like about 5 a day, sometimes less, sometimes more, depending on the situation. But that's my general rule of thumb, but it's enough that I can't feel the effects of it, and so when you're a smoker, and any kind of congestion, with I'm talking about like if you have a cold or anything like that, sometimes that even if you don't have no sickness or whatever, you can feel the effects of the smoking. So shit, that's what I'm thinking it was. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, bitch, it's the COVID. Okay. So she gave me that, and I'm always leery of taking medication, but I do take it, if it's prescribed, I take it, I do what I have to do, because see, me personally, I do not have a problem with doctors and, medicine. I am not saying that we do not have problems in the medical field, in our world, in the world that we live in. Of course we do. There are issues and problems in every aspect of, of our world, that's of our lives, just period, point blank. However, these are learned, people. And I never, me personally, I never had a problem going to the doctor and getting a prescription for whatever, and it not, being helpful to me, helping me with whatever issue I was dealing with at that particular time. So I don't have no complaints. You understand what I'm saying? Conspiracy theorists are fucking not, okay? Understanding and knowing that a lot of things may be about money, or maybe that's the bottom line, whatever. I've just not have not had those I'm just thankful. What I'm saying? I'm thankful. And I'm thankful that I went and took the test, because, I'm just thinking, some kind of virus cold. I really didn't think it was COVID. And I'm not saying I didn't think it was COVID because I had the vaccine. No, I just didn't think that that's what it was. Now, this is the killer because it keeps crossing my mind. So I'm going to tell you. Saturday, was it last Saturday? Not this past Saturday, Saturday before last. Me and my daughter, we're movie buffs and we love Marvel movies. So we go to see Doctor Strange, was it Multiverse of Madness? I really, really enjoyed that movie. And that's one of those kind of movies where I think all the Marvel movies are, okay? But especially when you're dealing with him and the occult and whatnot. I watch it over and over again because I hear things that it's so funny. I cannot tell you how many times me and my daughter have watched Endgame. What was the one before that with Thanos? Endgame was the second one. I can't think of the name of it. Okay, but Endgame was, the sequel to that one. We watched those over and over and over again. I'm telling you, we will still to this day hear lines and pick up on things that we hadn't. That's just how it goes, with movies, okay? Just a lot of things in life. Music, songs, things that you listen to over and over again, chord that you didn't hear, lyric that you didn't hear. And it's like, man, I've been singing this song, I've known this song for like how many years now? Movies, same thing, right? So I was like, I wanted to see it again. I really enjoyed it. So I was like, I have to see that again. Well, this past Saturday comes, and something in me was like, I don't know if I want to go, but I had promised her that we would go, and I know she really wanted to go. We decided to go to the 7:00 show, okay, because it was like a last minute decision, and I ran around all day Saturday trying to, grocery shop, just take care of business, okay. So we picked up some food about 6:15. I said, we're gonna take this to this theater. We don't have time to eat. We're gonna take this to this theater and eat. So we in the theater. She looks at me. She opens her food. My daughter looks at me. She said, I need some napkins. And I said, okay, I'll go get some. Whatever. I'm not really going to miss much of anything. We saw the movie already. I go down the steps because we set up pretty high. I'm holding on to the rail because it's dark in there, just whatever. I'm holding on to the rail. Something in me was like, my hand didn't feel right on that rail. Not that I haven't held rails before, it's just something, but I'm holding on to the rail. I get the napkins. I go back in. I sit down. Something says to me as, just clear as that, go wash your hands or use sanitizer. And I was like, well, Spirit knows I don't have any sanitizer. Oh, then go wash your hands. But I didn't. And when I had that scratchy throat the next day, again, I didn't make any connections. I just kept trying to clear my throat. And it didn't dawn on me, you're catching something. Okay, something is then festered up in you. Okay. When, it hit me on Monday, I was like, damn. First thing I said to myself was, I told you to go wash your hands. Now, truthfully, I could have got it from anywhere. Okay, the job, I work in schools, any damn where, anywhere. But I kept saying to myself, I told you, I kept hearing that, to go wash your hands when you were in that theater. That's all I could think about was that rail and my hand on that rail and how my hand felt on that rail. It just did not feel right. Not that I haven't touched rails, doorknobs, and ain't no need nobody saying nothing. We touching all of this stuff all day, every day. You're going in buildings, you're touching things. You're going in the stores, you're touching handles, unless it's just the automatic open. But it doesn't matter. You're still, when you're in the store, you're touching things. You're opening, the freezer cases or whatever. You're touching things, maybe even other fruit or produce that other people have put their hands on. We are touching things all day long. that other people are sharing and touching. Money, so whatever. This is not no scare video. Okay, that's life. That's how it goes. We've been doing it for forever. Okay, we got a virus out there right now. All right. You can call it what you want. You know, you can think about it however you want to think about it. Okay. It still exists. All right. So, and again, it's not a scare thing. I'm just talking, you know. So, you know, it's so funny. You know, I ran into this woman. I was passing out a business card one time a while ago. This lady, and this lady said, I went to give one. She said, "Oh, no, no, no." And I said, "Oh, no." She said, "With COVID." And I kind of looked at her. I was like, "What?" She said, "COVID." I said, "You about to, we were in line, you know, you handling money. Do you realize that she didn't have no gloves on? Do you realize you're touching shit all day, every day? You don't have no gloves on. Okay. There have been people with the gloves, the mask, the whole nine who still have gotten it, you know? So I was just like, okay, whatever, lady. That's why I'm saying, like, I'm still going to continue to live my life. I'm talking about my particular experience when I was touching that rail, and spirit was telling me, my spirit, God, whatever within me, whatever, was like, my hand was like, this rail don't feel right, okay? It just didn't. You know, that heightened, what the man say, a heightened awareness of things. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas sometimes I've never paid attention, you know, just walking in the building, whatever, wherever I'm at, touching this, that, and the other. I wasn't having that feeling. When my hand was on that rail to walk down those steps, something was like, my hand was like, okay. So anyway, you know, that's where I feel like I got it from. Because again, I kept hearing, you know, I told you to wash your hands. It was so clear when I sat down, go wash your hands. But I didn't do it. Okay. Stupid. Okay. And what I'm saying is stupid. I'm not saying I'm stupid as a person. It was stupid for me not to listen to myself. Okay. Especially with me, you know, doing spiritual work, you know, and it's always listen to yourself, you know, but we're all still constantly learning. And not that I haven't learned that before, listen to yourself. It just was like, you know, I chose not to. It was a choice that I made, you know. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like going back down them damn steps. And if I go back down the steps, you know, I'm lightweight, a little shaky. We all the way here, almost close to the top. And it's dark in here, you know, and all of this shit running through my head. Oh, okay, then. Okay, you know, all right. It's a choice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad. I'm not upset or anything like that. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been doing. And with my last week, sitting here at home. Well, Monday and Tuesday wasn't about sitting here at home, honey. I was down for the count. Okay, it wasn't shit I could do. Okay, but later and sleep and rest and get the rest that I needed, that my body needed. So what I did yesterday, what's today? Thursday, and I keep thinking we're a day ahead. Yesterday felt like Thursday. Today feels like Friday. Okay, but it's not. Okay, yesterday I, you know, was like, well, I'm not that sleepy. I gotta do something, you know. So I was like, I'm putting this Patreon again. I've had the account forever. Okay, let me do this Patreon. Okay, and that's just how I am. You know, I'm not the most, you know, structured, organized person. I'm just not. I've tried it. You know, I'm gonna try it again. I'm always trying that. You know, super structure, super organization. As you can see, my mind. Well, I mean, I'm gonna do this. Well, I don't know about that. And then, you know, I get back to it. Oh, yeah, okay, why not? You know. If it don't work for me, I don't like it, moving on, you know, whatever. I'm not hurt, distraught. We just move on to the next thing. Okay. But anyway, the Patreon is launched. Okay. And the link is in the description below. See, it's only so long that even when I feel a little bit better, I can just sit on my ass. You know, I like going to work. You understand? I like interacting with people. Okay. You know, instead of just sitting on my ass all day and doing nothing. So that's what I've put together. All right, so y'all check it out. I certainly hope that you like it, you know, that you will find some value in it, that you will become a patron. I think that my prices are fair, you know, on there. I'm still going to do, like I said, I got a one tier. Well, I got 4 tiers. I got one for the live pendulum readings. We're going to do live psychic readings, those 2 different peers. And then I got my tier. Did I say peers or tiers? Tiers. Then I got my tier here for the tarot reading. And it's instead of like before on my old YouTube channel, I would do general love, money, and spiritual awakening for each sign. This time I'm just gonna do general love and money. All right. So you will be getting 3 readings per sign per month, okay, in those areas, okay. And because to be perfectly honest with you, those topics, what else is there? Okay, I might come back and do spiritual awakening. It just depends, because at first I was like, I'm just gonna do one general reading, period. I'm not gonna do all the topics. But then I was like, no, let me go ahead and do the topics, okay. So that's that. Go through, check it out. I do ask that I made a mistake last night, and I ended up, because I uploaded 4 videos for that particular tier, and one of them I didn't have it unlisted. So I'm like 4 views. I'm like, what the hell? This is not even, it's on a whole separate channel, just for those videos. Well, I forgot to do it unlisted. It was for Aries, but it was only a few views. Okay. So, no need for me to do it over again. But I will say this, if you like it, you like my readings, you want to, then go ahead and join my Patreon. I'm asking for your support. Share with friends, family, loved ones, people that you work with, and my website is still going to continue. So you have a choice, whether you want to do, be a member, or, well, I just want to go ahead and get my own individualized reading. I don't need to get that many, see that many readings, because, it's general reading. So it might apply to you. It might not. Okay. But a personal reading is going to be a personal reading, not a general reading, so you have those choices. So that's what I got going on. Okay. And that should be fun, because I really enjoy doing readings. I miss doing readings. All right. So that's what's happening there. I will eventually get back to the religious studies series, like I said earlier. And that's it. That's it. All right. I can't think of anything else to talk about right at this time, because what I want to do is I want to go ahead and get some more readings in for the Patreon. Right now, what I have posted is June, general readings for June. I got Aries, Taurus, and Gemini. I'm going to try to do 3 more today. All right. The medicine is not that bad. The side, the effects of it are not that bad, but I can feel it a little bit, but it's not that bad, so I can get at least 3 in today. I am hungry now. Last night, all I ate was, I ate a half a muffin with some ice cream. Literally, that was all I wanted. I mean, that's what I wanted. It wasn't like, I just don't feel like cooking nothing. I'm just going to eat this. No, that's what I wanted, so it does do something, to you, your taste and everything. I was kind of leery about taking the prednisone. I was like, well, because I looked it up, and it's like, okay, this is going to help my situation. So I'm going to do what Doc told me to do. Okay. And go back to work on Monday. I want to tell you guys about my DC trip. I don't know if it's a whole lot to say. I posted up a lot of shorts. I had a nice time, like when I lived in DC, it was different than going on this trip, because when I lived in DC, it was a long time ago. And some of the things that they had set up, they didn't have back then. That's why I was in college. You know what I'm saying? Back then I went to the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument with a friend. Her family came, and she asked me and another girl if we wanted to hang out with her and her family, and we did. So that was it was a DC from a whole nother view, than from when I was a college student. Still love DC. I loved all of it. I like that. I like, monuments and history. I love it, period. Okay, good history, bad history. I love history because I love people, and I love humanity. I'll put it like that. It's interesting the things that human beings do, and then sometimes of course my conspiracy theorist part of me is like, shit, we don't even know if this is real history or not. They might have just changed some of this shit. You understand what I'm saying? Which they probably, somewhere along the line, some things probably have been changed. Okay. but whatever. I don't. It's not. Whatever. I'm not sitting here about to figure out what was and what wasn't. But and even if it's changed, that's interesting that humans feel the need to do that for whatever their reason is, whatever their agenda is, whoever's in power at that particular time in history. Whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. In subjugating other people by changing things and suppression and blah 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 blah. Okay, but anyway. I love all of that stuff. Okay. That's it. It's interesting. I posted some shorts about and I posted the changing of the guard. It was just, I know that might have been like boring for people to watch. It was on like 12 minutes of it, and I didn't get there at the very beginning, but I just, I like all that stuff, the discipline, the structure of it. Okay. I'm not quite sure 100% the meaning of it. The tour guide told us, the tour guide was chock full of information about everything, and I did not get to hear all of it. I remember, number one, I was a chaperone. Okay. Number two, my daughter was with me, and she's not a student there. These were 8th graders. She's a junior in high school. So I'm chaperoning them, in a sense, chaperoning her, although they had her listed as a chaperone, and which she really wasn't, but it was just technical stuff. And I'm watching her and I'm watching them and all of this, whatever, and we walked. We walked our ass, it was like when I went to Egypt, it was a lot of fucking walking. That's how this trip was. We walked our ass from the moment we got there to the moment we left, and thank God I had bought some really great tennis shoes before we left, because I bought some Brooks, and one of the students at one of the high schools, she ran track. She told me those are the best shoes for walking, tennis shoes for walking, just period. So and they weren't no more expensive than the rest of the tennis shoes out there. It cost too damn much. That was me, and somebody was talking about, I'm 50 years old. It was like, when we were kids, he wanted the security guards. We were telling them, like, when we were you guys' age, tennis shoes did not cost $20-$25 for some tennis shoes. You understand what I'm saying? And then you went to the Pickway shoes. We were talking about that. He was like, yes, the Pickway. Not Payless. Pickway. If anybody remembers Pickway. Excuse me. And you dug your hand down in that bin and you got you some shoes. You got you some tennis shoes. Tennis shoes were not, they were for gym, running and playing outside. They were not, you were laughed at. When I was a kid, if you wore tennis shoes all the time like that, that was not what, well, I know some of y'all call them sneakers, depending on what part of the country, you're in. I'm here in Cleveland, so we grew up saying tennis shoes. And I know when I first went to college, they was like, tennis shoes. Why would you call them tennis shoes? Because I went to school, a lot of people, from the East Coast. The tennis shoes are for tennis. And I was like, well, that's what we call them. And I thought sneakers sounded funny. Hell, I thought soda sounded funny, because here we said pop. And I said, that sounds like some old, 50s shit, Happy Days. And they were like, that's what pop sound like to us. By the time I left Howard, I was saying soda, okay? Never could grasp onto the sneakers thing, all right? And I came back here still saying soda. It took me a long time to get soda up out of me, okay? But nevertheless, probably, and I really don't, well, I've been drinking it now more than I used to for years. I didn't touch it, but, anyway, what was I saying about? But anyway, so I had those Brooks, and they were really good. Feet still kind of bothered me, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you, this is how much walking we did, I swear I probably lost a few pounds just from that. We did some serious, I know I lost some inches. We did some serious walking, So I didn't always get to hear all the history, of everything, okay? It was really interesting going to Mount Vernon, okay, which was where George Washington's home. I made a little video about it. Okay, some of you might have heard, you might not have. Okay, it's there. Okay, a little comedy sketch. Okay, but it was really what I was thinking, when I was on that land. It was a lot of land. Okay, and a lot of walking. I can't remember every single thing. I loved Lincoln Memorial. I had been there before, like I said, Washington Monument. I've been before. I was an extra Forrest Gump. And for those of you who saw Forrest Gump, we were at the Washington Monument. And I was one of the people on stage with Tom Hanks. I think I was probably about 4 people away from him, okay? So it was a 3-day shoot. I was only there 1 day. So you may not see me from the front, but you can see me like as he's going up the steps from behind. You can see my profile from behind, because it was like a 3-day shoot, so they did the shoot, they completed it that day, but they did it over and over again, and they editing and whatnot, so you can only see me from behind, but you can't see me like straight on, because it probably was a day that I don't remember why I didn't go them last 2 days. You understand what I'm saying? I was in college. I don't remember what my reasoning was. I don't think I had a way to get there, because I had to be on that set. Well, I had to be at a location. They took us to the set. We had to be at that location it was like maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. So a friend of mine took me, and it was cold. And the wardrobe they gave us, it was very thin. It may look like sweaters and whatnot, which they were, but they were very, very thin. Okay, we're talking about costumes. We're not talking about real, winter gear. We're talking about costumes. So they costumed us up. I had a terrible wig, honey. Okay, so we were out and then they took us to the location. We were in a tent in movie sets and TV sets and everything like that. There's a lot of sitting. More than anything, I did an industrial for Key Bank. Okay, it was online. Again, all day, very short, all day. It's a lot of sitting and waiting, more so than actually doing. You understand what I'm saying? So, we ate. They gave us box lunches. We were so cold. We were so free. It was just freezing out there. Some kind of way, I hooked up with a couple of the other actors. We were, because they had us at a tent off away from the set. Okay, it was on site, but it was not close to the set. All right, they took us over in a little truck van or whatever, group by group. Okay, and so we stayed around in between the takes. We were behind that stage that he was on. We were behind there. I can't remember who these people were I hooked up with. Now they gave us some box lunches, which was just some cold sandwiches. Okay, we were back there. And I was with some of the people that were a couple of the actors and some of the people that were, actually working on the, behind the scenes, for the film. Listen, they came through with some hot food for the main folk, for the straight up actors, not the extras. That man came through with burgers and it was all hot shit. He was like, yo, want some? We were like, yes, and he was not supposed to give us any, but he gave us some. He was like, it's cold. Y'all need more than cold sandwiches, So he gave us some. And I think that's why I didn't go back, because it was so cold. It was so cold. And I did get paid for it, but I wasn't in the union. But so you get paid, but if you're not in the union, you don't get paid that much. They actually ended up paying us more because it was just cold, and they knew, and something about the costumes really weren't, although, like I said, you can look at the film and it looks like we have on sweaters. It looked like a sweater, but it was like a thin piece of material. You know what I'm saying? So they compensated us a little bit more, for that. But that might have been why I was like, I ain't going back. It's just too cold, and I'm not standing out there in that cold like I did. It was just a bad experience, in terms of the cold. It was a great experience otherwise, and all those thousands of people, it was not hardly that many people out there. Once they, they did the shoot where, like I said, I was on stage. I was like about 4 people away from Tom Hanks. So then they sent all the extras down, to the ground off the platform, and on the count of 3, say Gump. Raise your hand, say Gump. We did that, okay? They had a yellow line, like those police lines. Don't cross this line. After we did that, they pushed us all back. Everybody go behind the yellow line. So hundreds of people, okay? Not like thousands like it looked, and it may not even been hundreds, okay? I know it was more than 100. We all went behind that line. On the count of 3, everybody say Gump. And we did that till we got all the way around, to the other side. The thing about it is it was cold, and it's like, it's a lot of waiting. It's a lot of sitting. So you thinking, oh, shit, all we saying is Gump. Yeah, but you don't know all the technical shit behind the camera that they're going through while they're making us wait. You say Gump and you stand there for about 20, 30 minutes, till they say, okay, everybody go behind the next yellow line or whatever, So that was a fun experience. And even when I did the industrial, for Key Bank, that was fun. But it was, again, a lot of sitting. I did that here in Cleveland, a lot of sitting and whatnot. I met this older white guy when I was an extra in Forrest Gump, who had that was his livelihood. There were people who were extras that was their livelihood. And you don't listen, especially if you're in the union, you didn't do too bad back then, probably still, especially probably today, because there's so much more that you can do. You don't do too bad, as just living a life as doing extra work. You understand what I'm saying? You really don't. I'm not saying you're a millionaire, of course not. You know what I'm saying? But I had met him, and I met a couple of people that and they knew other people. Yeah, I'm just an extra, and as many movies as I could get in. They need extras everywhere all the time. Especially depending on where you live. And I make a decent living just being an extra. I had thought about that at one point. I was like, shit. But I'm here in Cleveland, Ohio now. There was a stint for a while. They were doing a lot of movies here. Some of the Marvel movies. If you look at, is it Captain America or Avengers with this? What's the man with the arm? Winter Soldier. Is that Captain America? No, that's Captain America, Winter Soldier. Those scenes, okay, for those of you who are not familiar, where on the freeway, highway, and all the fighting shit. I looked at that one day. I said that looked familiar as hell. That's highway. Right here in Cleveland, right across the street from the Justice Center, okay, where they were doing all that fighting and stuff. So they were doing a lot of movies here at one point. I think they did some Spider-Man, driving downtown and whatnot in that movie. I was like, that's Cleveland, that's here. So I don't know about now, you know what I'm saying? Because I really wasn't working in that field and not, for a while, But anyway. So, that stuff is fun. And just know that if you're ever interested in, you're going to be doing a lot of sitting and a lot of waiting. Okay. Even as I would say as a main person. Because even when we would do stuff on campus, that was my major, film and theater. Now, when I was doing it for film, we were still cutting and splicing. You understand what I'm saying? Actual film and cutting it, for editing it and taping it together. That's how long ago I did it. But, stuff has, advanced, and we were able to we had to make film. I got all my stuff here on I think it's here in my office somewhere on the tape. I don't think they're called VHS. They're the really old ones. Okay, when you can get it transferred though to DVD. I don't know if they're any good anymore. Because we would do group work, and a lot of times, who wants it? And a lot of times they, I would always want it. Here, take it. They didn't care, and stuff on film from my freshman year. Okay, I remember editing a project. We had to do. I don't even think it was a 5-minute video. Listen, we were in there over 24 hours. Just trying to edit it, screen by screen. It is, you would think it's a super easy process. It is not. It was long and it was excruciating. Okay. It was, and we still didn't finish. Okay. But anyway, they had back then when I was at Howard, they boasted of having some of the best film equipment for students, and that boasted about allowing us to be able to take it out for the time period that we could, because some of the other schools of film, they would not allow that. Okay. Or the equipment that wasn't that good. Now this is what they boasted. I don't know. You know what I mean? But, yeah, it was enjoyable. Okay. But, of course I don't, film, that cutting and taping and, in a dark room looking at, is this the right, did I cut it in the right place? You understand? And getting a little piece of tape and taping it. I was like, this is what I signed up for, but it was fun. Nonetheless, looking back on it, it was an experience. And I always say, I'm going to get these transferred to DVD. I never take the time to do it, but I need to. I don't even know. Oh, I was gonna say, I don't know how I got off in that, but talking about being in DC. But yeah, so I love DC, honey. I love DC. I love the District of Columbia. Yes, I do. But anyway, I think that's all I'm gonna talk about right now. And, what else did I do? I was chaperone 8th grade dance, which, I've only been at the school not even a full 2 months, but when I saw them coming, they were so dressed up. Some of them were, some of them weren't. And it just was like, oh, I wanted to cry. And it's like, girl, you only been here 2 months, you want to cry already from seeing them on her every day and getting to know them and everything, and them getting to know me and then seeing them all dressed up. I was like, oh, oh, they're so cute, they're so pretty. Some of them I didn't even recognize at first. I was like, oh my God, is that such and such? So that was fun. That's fun. I like working with young people. I miss being at work. I like working, sometimes I like sitting at home too, but just not all the time. Shit, I did that shit for years, and like I was saying in one video, my walk, I did that for a long time, and it's like, that just wasn't me. And I think I know why that happened. That'll be another video probably on my Patreon. Okay, what that was all about. But thank God I'm free. All right. And I like working, I like people and blah, 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 this, that, and other. So I would get to the religious studies video soon. I don't know what else I want to talk about or I'm going to talk about, but we'll see and we'll find out. Me and my friend, my sister friend, we talked last night. We talked a long time extensively about the medical field, about things that we've experienced as women going to get these, and I'm going to say it flat out, pap smears and all of that kind of thing, which was interesting and funny because, she's 10 years older than me. I'm 50, she'll be 61 soon. And we was just talking about, back then, you couldn't self-diagnose yeast infection and all of that kind of thing, okay? Like when I was a teenager, they didn't have yeast infection cream, Monistat, Mislex, and whatnot in the drugstore. No, you had to get an exam. You understand what I'm saying? You had to be examined by a doctor, okay? And then, diagnose it. This is what you had, and then prescribe you a cream, okay? They didn't start doing that shit with the shit in the stores till I was about at least maybe 19. Yeah. I don't even think my freshman year in college. Now, I know when I was in college, by the time I was a junior, they had that stuff in the stores, okay? But maybe, and when I say my freshman year in college, I went to community college before I went to Tri-C, okay? So it might have been during that time period when they started putting the stuff in the stores, but no, up until that point, you didn't self-diagnose that, okay? You didn't self-diagnose no yeast infection or bacterial vaginosis and all of that shit. No, you had to go spread eagle up on a table, okay, put your legs in them stirrups and get that speculum. And see, back then, they didn't have them plastic speculums. They had them. Man, listen, honey, the first time I saw one of those things, the speculum, the steel ones or metal, whatever it is, I was like, that shit looked like a curling iron. You understand what I'm saying? You ain't coming near me with that shit. You understand what I'm saying, okay? Ain't nothing else been near me or inside of me. And when I saw that shit, I said, hell no. First time I had a yeast infection, I was about 16 years old, and because I had an ear infection, so I had to take some antibiotics. So one day I'm like, what the hell going on? Okay. After I taken the antibiotics, I was straight virgin. Okay, what the hell is this? What am I feeling? Oh my God, burning, itching. So I told my mom. My mom was a nurse. My mom was a nurse at the time when the nurses and whatnot, the people in the hospital that worked there, they could get stuff from there and just bring it home. Listen, we had the Carry lotion. Okay, the lotion they only used in the hospitals. Okay, my mom had some of the scissors that they used in surgery. She had all of that shit right there in the house because they could get that shit with no problem. They don't have that shit like that. Now, you in the hospital, they got that shit locked up. You have to have some kind of code or a key or something like that to get in there. Probably a code now, because I remember at one point it was a key, but now it's probably a code. And you have to say what patient is for, how many using, and all of that kind of stuff. You just can't go in there free willy-nilly and take that stuff. So I told my mom, well, she didn't take me nowhere. She said, okay, this girl, she done took some, she had to take the antibiotics because antibiotics can cause yeast infections. So she just got me the cream. I'm going to tell you about that experience. I'll just tell you that the shit works. Okay. Well, when I did finally go to the doctor, I'm thinking my mom like, okay, you're a certain age, I'm going to take you. Now, I still, I kept my virginity for a long time. Okay. Listen, when that woman came at me, when that doctor came at me and I saw that thing look like a curling iron, I clamped my legs closed and I scooted up back on that table screaming, ah! Okay. She looked at my mom like, what in the hell is this? My mother just kind of looked like, if I remember, you know what I'm saying? I was like, no, you're not coming near me with that. What are you going to do? Even though my mom had she showed me brochures, she told me the whole nine. I don't give a fuck. You're not, when it was actual, I was like, and even when she showed me, I was like, no, what? Why? Well, the doctor told her, she said, look, listen, hey, ain't nothing I can do with this. And so it was. She was like, she doesn't have, she's a virgin. She says she's a virgin. She doesn't really have to have it now, Well, I thank God I remember when they finally started saying, because see, they didn't used to say that back then. That's what she told my mom, Then they finally started saying, if a woman has not had sex, she really does not have to have this. Okay, maybe up until a certain age. Okay. So I didn't have that shit for a while. Now, I did end up getting a yeast infection one time. Again, I know I'm talking about this publicly on Wild Web. Well, I was still young, okay? And, I go to one of them urgent care clinics, and I did the same thing. My mom was with me in the room, okay? I was still very young. I probably was about 19 at that time, or 20 or some shit. The doctor was like, I need you to leave. So my mom left. Lady looked at me like, in other words, bitch, listen, bitch. I don't have time for your theatrics and drama. Okay. She said, what you gonna do when you have a baby? I said, it won't be the same. It'll be coming out of me. You're gonna put that, you were trying to put that thing in me. In other words, bitch, I don't have time for your theatrics and drama, bitch. Okay? I'm not prescribing you motherfucking thing unless you calm your ass down. Okay, so I had to calm my ass down. Relax, okay? I relaxed my ass, okay? I had no choice. That doctor made it clear, I'm not doing theatrics and drama with you. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Like, again, this wasn't no going into, so that thing with the cream, I don't remember when it happened, okay? But wasn't no going into just the drugstore and, okay, this is what I think, let me get this Miselex and Monistat, okay? Wasn't no 3-day cure. Okay, I just take this pill and you be all cleared up. No, you had to, you had to go to the doctor. And my mom was telling me, just from her life experience and as a nurse, okay, she was just telling me that, when she was coming up, that was not really something women had. Okay, if they did, it wasn't, to the extent that women started getting them. And she said one thing that she had noticed, that they had noticed in the medical field, that when they started making pantyhose, not stockings, but pantyhose, okay? Stockings, don't go all the way up on your panty, okay? But it was like this constant covering up, and withholding the breathing. Now, you may say, well, women started wearing pantyhose, but, human evolution, the human body gets used to something and adapts to it. That's what I'm saying. She said, and then women started wearing like more pants, okay? So it was inhibiting the flow, causing, the balance to be thrown off, okay? Some of the foods that people were eating, more sugar, than even when she was young. It was more, sugar was becoming more readily available to just everyone. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, we know, historically it was a time where only the wealthy people, had access to sugar. And then, as times changed, more and more people had access to sugar, were eating more sugar. Okay. And it was causing changes in the human body. But then too, wealthier people had access to quote unquote healthcare, whatever healthcare might have been for that time period, that not everybody had access to, not your poor common folk had access to, okay? So pantyhose, people eating more sugar. And she said people, wearing pants, and women wearing pants, and, what else did she say? And then the pants, becoming tighter and tighter. So it was like, so it just became this thing of, that she said they had found that more and more women were coming in with complaints, and more of them were having yeast infections, and, the bacterial vaginosis, but more so yeast infections. So it was like constant, so they just started selling the cream on the market. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, you know what it is. You burning, you itching, whatever, go ahead and get your cream. You know what I'm saying? Now, there's a lot more to it than that. I have found that them creams in the stores, are not quite like what they used to be. I don't deal with that shit no more. Okay, I really don't have the issue anymore either. But if I do feel a little something coming on, I know exactly what to do. You know, I do a natural thing, knocks that shit right out. Okay, but this is very, very rare. You know, that I have this issue. You know what I'm saying? You know, but again, it wasn't no. You know, wasn't no just no plastic speculums, okay? And whatever doctor you however they handle it was how they handle it. I had a doctor one time. This lady probably is dead and gone. If she is still living, it'd be a miracle. I was very young, you know, like early 20s. This woman was all, you know, just for my regular exam or whatever. She was old. I mean, she was old. She was old. Like when she came in the room, I was like, oh my God, is she gonna make it? You know, this is how old she was, just walking and hunched over. She was the sweetest, kindest, gentlest doctor, just person, human being. Okay. I didn't feel not a damn thing. This is how good she was. You know, they put that thing in. Sorry, men, if you're watching, there are women in your lives, okay? They put that thing in, and then they crank it open and crank, and you feel that shit, okay? Some people not gentle to the law when they put that thing in, okay? But they do put the KY jelly on or whatever, so it kind of slides in, okay? That woman, I laid there, I said, you know, it seemed like it was taking longer than, because it's really a quick process, you know. But still, my friend was telling me last night, she said, I still have to get myself mentally ready for that. And she's about to be 61 years old, okay? So she's been doing this for quite a few years, okay? It's just not a fun thing, you know. And I said, well, you know, is it in? Did you start? She was like, I'm just about finished. I'm closing it up right now. I was like, you did it already? And she was like, yes. I didn't feel anything, nothing. I was like, who is she? You understand what I'm saying? Where is she? I'm like, this woman needs to train every gynecologist in America. And it was awesome. It was just a wonderful, you know, thing. If you got to have it done, okay? And I back then in the day, it was a thing where you had to do that shit yearly. Okay, that was the recommendation every year. Well, you know, they changed it to every 3 years. They still want you to do the digital exam yearly, okay? But they changed that to yearly. That's just not a fun thing, you know, process. I had one friend, this guy that was tell me this woman gonna tell him, you know, she found it to be a very sexual experience. I was like, bitch, please. Either you're fucking lying or you're fucking nuts. Okay, there's nothing sexual about that. It's a fucking medical procedure, you know. Now, I had even read some stuff where when I was pregnant and I was reading up on breastfeeding, because I breastfed my daughters, you know, so I wanted to be ready for that. And some of these women talking about they found it a sensual experience. I didn't find feeding my daughter from my breast to be a sensual experience. I found it to be nothing sexual or sensual about it, okay? I found it to be me feeding my daughter, okay? But saying that, I mean, you know, so I guess you sitting up there getting moist and whatever in the car on your way to your pap smear, okay, to prepare your body for the entry of this curling iron looking thing in your ass to crank it open for them to scrape your cervix. Okay, whatever. That's fucking nuts. I don't give a fuck what you say. I told him, I said, that bitch is either lying or she's fucking crazy. Okay, and he looked at me like he thought I was going to be like, ooh, yeah. No, I'm not fucking nuts. I'm not stupid nor silly. That's some silly ass shit. All right. But anyway, people, okay. It was just a conversation we did have last night. I thought it was funny. All right. But anyway, check yourselves out. Okay. And that's all I got. That's all I got. I'm going to do some more readings today when I have time. Put them up on my Patreon. And, anything else I want to say? Check out kenyattasintuition.com. Okay. Readings, tarot readings, psychic readings, pendulum readings, mediumship, whatever you need. Okay. Check out my Patreon. Same thing. All right. And that's it. That's all I can think of. Watch, when I get off here, I was like, oh, I should have said ABC. Whatever, honey. All right. Y'all be blessed. Peace.